Hi, my name's Alex Mitz, and I'm a voice actor. Well, I'm a lot of things, but voice actor is one of those things. I don't post a lot about my voice acting endeavors on YouTube. I do on Twitter quite a bit, and I think that has a bit to do with feeling kind of impostery about it. I'm not a full-time voice actor, although I do make about 25% of my overall income from voice acting in various forms, whether that's explainers or e-learning or, commercial work, character work, stuff like that. Some notable bookings I have under my belt are content for Netflix, IBM, DeVry University, Credit.com, and more character-driven work. I regularly work with the studio that produces content for Mobile Legends, the video game, and I also ended up in Criz Tales, which is on the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. I have other character projects I regularly work on, but this video hopefully isn't going to be that long. I also make references to a lot of people and other things in this video, but for their sake, I will not name drop them. It's hard to admit to myself that I'm an actor, despite how much time I actually spend acting in various formats. And I think part of it has to do with not wanting to be labeled as like a starving artist or having what I do be labeled as a hobby. But I'm finally comfortable enough after many years of acting to call myself a full-fledged actor. I wanted to make this video about how I got here and also to kind of kick off more videos about voice acting. I don't talk about it enough, and I would really like to change that. I started voice acting because I was an audio nut. I used to play in bands, and one of the biggest barriers to getting heard was not having recordings, so I learned how to record at a young age. And over many, many years, and after lots of practice, I became the world's okayest audio engineer. Really, I'm not that good at all. But I'm good enough to mix a band passably. Then my focus started shifting to acting in my adult life, kind of around the age of 25. I got back into the stage, working in community theater, and what I thought was just going to be kind of a quick tour in theater land turned into an ongoing love of the craft. And after a while, someone said, why don't you voice act? You know how to do all the audio stuff, you act, why don't you just bring those two things together? And I thought to myself, I can't do that. I don't live in Texas or Los Angeles or New York. And they went, dummy, have you heard of the internet? Location doesn't really matter for a lot of the stuff. Caveat, location matters for some of the stuff. So I jumped in, and like most newbies, I cut my teeth on those platforms that we don't like to talk about. I made a little money, which kind of helped me upgrade some gear and build a booth, but I knew I wanted more, so I had to move on. I couldn't get a straight answer whether I was ready for P2Ps or pay-to-plays, so I decided I was just gonna go for it. Like any good Vegas bet, you bring money that you expect to lose, and if you lose it, no big deal, and if you get something back, then hey, life's good. And sure enough, I did. I made my money back really quickly, and that was really great. And then I stalled. I doubted myself, hated myself. You know the drill. So I got coaching, and I started coaching with one of my coaches who I still work with today, and I was booking again, and that was awesome. And I thought, if I could learn this much from one coach, how about a variety of coaches? So I started getting more coaching from more people, and I started booking more. And it was really cool. It was great. It was wild. And I also joined some voiceover Discord groups, and those have been instrumental in my self-education and really any of my success. I highly recommend doing that. Get around some peers. Get around some like-minded peers. I learned a lot about technique. I learned a lot about room treatment, microphones, the works. It's seriously like a master's level education. So naturally, I wanted more. So I asked my coaches, what's next? The answer was, well, it's time to cut some demos and send them out to agencies. So I did that. And based on a lot of recommendations, I went with demo producers who weren't going to charge me thousands of dollars for a good demo, and they came out really good. So I sent them around to a bunch of regional agents, thinking that maybe I'll start with the regionals and then step up to something bigger when and if I'm ready. There's that self-doubt again. And sure enough, a handful of them picked me up, and I thought to myself, gee whiz, I made it. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. I do get some really cool auditions, and I really do like all the agents that I currently have. However, they do not pay most of my bills at all. So, moral of the story, love your agents, but they aren't going to pay for everything. I also tried going the direct marketing route. I've sent out thousands of emails, and I've got a couple of bites and a couple of cool jobs from them, but it's not really panning out as well as I hoped it would, so I've kind of put that one on the back burner for a bit. The bulk of my voiceover income comes from relationships that I've built with clients and recurring work that I've had over the course of a few years now. And I'm sure most people who are moderately to wildly successful in voiceover will probably tell you the same thing. Anyway, that's where I'm at so far. I've done pretty well over the last few years, and I owe that to my background in acting, as well as my coaches, as well as my peers, as well as all the support that I've gotten along the way. So thank you if you've been a part of that for me. As for what's next, who knows? The landscape is changing rapidly, and I'm sure a lot of voice actors are playing it by ear. myself included. Anyway, thanks for listening to my story, and please reach out if there's anything that I can do for you, whether you need a voice, whether you need some guidance, whether you need someone to tell you that you don't suck. I'm here for you, and thank you very much.